So I really, really want to talk to you about weapons, but I'd rather you just see Weapons because I don't want to spoil it, and honestly, it ruled. 10 out of 10. They're not paying me to tell you that, by the way. I am just a man standing in front of a movie asking you to watch it. But I also do want to talk to you about Weapons, so instead, we're going to talk around Weapons by discussing the fact that its director is Zach Cregger, who started his career as a silly comedy man. Now, that shouldn't be too surprising at this point, considering the success of Jordan Peele, another silly comedy fellow turned horror filmmaker.
So what's wrong with y'all?
And David Gordon Green / Danny McBride, and John Krasinski. Because while they may seem at polar opposite ends of the spectrum, comedy and horror have a ton in common, and both hit for the same reasons.
I'm gonna eat your brains, zombie.
Some of the similarities between these genres are more obvious than others, so I'll try to go from most to least so you don't get bored. The most obvious comparison is, these are the two genres that can be judged by how loud their audience is. That was your first thought too, right? It's clear as day. If you sit through an entire drama and don't make a peep, I mean, that might still be a good movie, right? You might see it and go, yes, quiet, 5 stars, etc., and puff on your pipe like I know you do. But if you watch a whole comedy and don't laugh, or a whole horror movie and don't yelp, that's an undeniable failure. That is to say, both genres are expressly about drawing a compulsive reaction out of you, to make you react in spite of yourself. To do that, both genres need to be constantly surprising you, which means both are intimately concerned with timing. A horror director needs to know when to bring the scare. They need to be painfully aware of how long since the last one, know when to give you a little jump, or when to break your defenses down with a quick joke before, oh my god, he's right there. Sure, when you step into a movie theater to watch a horror film, you're definitely a little primed, a little on edge, but that's both to the advantage and disadvantage of the filmmaker. You're ready to be scared. You know they're going to try to surprise you. So from the jump, they're battling your expectations and trying to find the exact right moment to... Comedy is the same way. It's all about surprise, about catching you with your guard down. That's what we're doing when we're laughing. We're reacting in spite of ourselves. A good laugh leaps out of us like a good scream does. And that, again, comes down to timing.
That's not the marketing department.
You're the marketing department.
I'm the marketing department, and I'm marketing RC Glow.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Speed, pacing, setup, setup, setup. Then, right when you least expect it, punchline. A comedian has to know their material and their audience in a way that's uniquely difficult because they have to know how to always stay exactly one step ahead of them. But if you're a comedy creator who turned to horror, you fortunately already know your audience well and what they're there to see, because the exemplars of both genres want to talk about taboos. Sex, suicide, the way your boss makes everyone so horribly uncomfortable but can't seem to get fired.
I'm gonna kill myself!
Wow.
Maybe both at once. Or, the most horrible thing imaginable, the death of your own child right in front of you. We crave exploring and experiencing and knowing these things, but in a way that's controlled, in a way that can't actually hurt us. Horror and comedy are these outlets, giving us a distance while still letting us feel these feelings with others. So if you take taboos and you add timing, what you get is tension. Jordan Peele puts the relationship between comedy and horror like this.
They're both, to me, the best ways I know of for us to deal with our fears. Specifically, the fear of death, which to me is the ultimate in tension and release.
Watching a horror and watching a comedy are the same experience. You are staring at your screen, mouth agape, dying to know what comes next, but unable to imagine it. And when that tension is finally deftly broken by a joke or a body crashing through a window, you react in a huge way. Then, the tension cranks back up. And again, and again, and again, until you leave the theater feeling almost tired from the experience. No joke, I left my viewing of Weapons positively vibrating. And just to fully bring it back to Weapons so you don't feel like I tricked you into clicking on this video, this movie is absolutely a horror film, no question. But it's also really funny in a way that's delightfully shocking throughout. There is a scene that closes out the movie that is honestly so hilarious, it would be a peak comedy bit if it wasn't the culmination of 2 hours of edge-of-my-seat terror. But also, it is a peak comedy bit. I was dying watching it. It's genius, and it works because comedy and horror are way more alike than they appear, which these directors know perfectly well, because they are, always, one step ahead of us. thanks for watching. This one was tricky just because of my love for all these brilliant people and the work they do and the genres themselves, so I hope I did all that justice. But let us know in the comments what you thought. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see more of the stuff we're making over here, don't forget to like and subscribe.